Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for tuning in to our last Thursday Q&A. We're still going to be doing our regular immigration Q&A on Wednesdays, but the last one on Thursday, live on TikTok, immigration lawyer John, and live on Instagram, JQK Law Firm. You're watching the video YouTube of this most likely, but after that, the Wednesdays, we're going to be live on the JK Law Firm YouTube page and Instagram and TikTok. Try to get all three. If I lose out one, it'll be Instagram. I'll make the decision next week. But they'll do that regularly, so I'll be here to answer your questions because there's always a lot of questions. But definitely like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you get notifications. But we have daily video updates that come, and my answers go straight to the point. And I'll be around the bush to get some immigration guidance. But as general, it's general guidance. It's educational purposes only. It's not intended for individual legal advice. You need to consult with an immigration lawyer about that, about your case. And one follow-up is that if you are thinking about doing a fiance or marriage green card or visa, please check out the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It's a free, no-cost ebook that I created. It's 40 pages. Just check out the website www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com, and you can download that there. Make sure to type in the www. It's www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And you can download the free Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide there. And with that, let's get it started. All right, everybody, thanks for joining. We got a couple people. Kim, Nadia, thank you for saying hi. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Please shoot out your questions as they come up while everyone else is joining the crew. We have a lot of people on TikTok popping in now, and as well as Instagram. This is the regular Q&A we did. Nowadays, as of next week, I'm going to just be doing it on Wednesdays live and just doing other kinds of videos and informational material that I constantly put out on the video sites and on the different websites and blogs. So there's a lot of different pieces of information coming out from my office, as well as a program called the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox, the Immigration Lawyers Podcast. Those are a little more advanced for people that are actually practicing immigration law, immigration professionals, but you get a lot of information there as well. Just check those out. We have a question from Amit to ask, hi sir, can we downgrade from it to an EB3 from EB2 and apply the current dates? It may be possible, but consult with an immigration attorney to see if it's appropriate for you. This question is popping up because the October visa bulletin was finally released today, and there was a good enough jump up on the EB3 category, making it maybe viable for people to change their category from EB2 to EB3. But it's not a specialty of my office. I don't handle those kind of cases. So definitely talk with your employer. They already are involved in this kind of stuff. Talk with them and see what you can do. You already have a lawyer set up with them. Nadia in Farsi says, I have a young citizen applied for their father. 2 months have gone by from their interview, no answer. Yeah, that's an administrative processing. You might want to file a lawsuit if it's taking too long, but you should consult with an immigration in private and check that out. Musi, good to see you again. Thank you for answering our questions. You're welcome. I'm glad to do that. Appreciate it. Akiash says, is NVC making interview appointment faster than usual? The NVC has no part in deciding when the interview is going to happen with the U.S. Embassy. So if you're doing consular processing, which means going through the green card process through the embassy system, the NVC, or the National Visa Center, those are the initials for it, they only handle looking at the initial documents. And once they say, okay, your documents are okay, the initial review, then they tell the embassy, and the embassy notifies them when they have a time open. They send their schedule to the National Visa Center. National Visa Center books it. So it's not up to the National Visa Center to choose a time. They wait for the embassy where the interview is going to happen to notify them that they have a spot open. So when you ask me, is NVC making interview appointments faster than usual? The embassy has no part in that. It depends on the embassy. Some embassies have a lot of free time, so they're doing it faster. For example, I got a case in China, a spouse of a U.S. citizen case, get scheduled really fast, a few weeks after the embassy did their initial review of the documents. Usually it takes much longer. But in China, they're taking much less cases, so I guess they have a lot of extra free time. So it's really about where the embassy is and what kind of case you have, not the National Visa Center itself. So it's going to be different for every country. Musi asks, can I adopt my stepkids when they are 17 and when they can get their green card after? Adoption, getting a green card through adoption, you have to be under 16 when the adoption is complete. So if it's above the age of 17, unfortunately, it's not going to work out like that for them to be able to get the green card through that parentage. But I don't handle adoption cases much either, so consult with an immigration attorney if you're looking for something serious about that. The adoption process has to be done a certain way too, so there's a lot going on there. I'd just ask that you consult with an immigration attorney in private. Ali Sheikh says, will USCIS notify me if sponsor or someone attempts of any time against me in USCIS? will USCIS notify me if sponsor or someone attempts of any type? I'm not sure what you mean, attempts of any type. You might have to type that again. But USCIS has no requirement to notify you of anything like that. So that is it. Akash says, how long does the embassy take to book the appointment? Again, Akash, it's up to the embassy, and whenever they have their schedule open, they'll do it. It just varies depending on what their schedule looks like. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, and each embassy is different. Akash says, can you adopt your relative's child to bring them to the United States? It has to be a valid adoption. If they have parents and you just adopt them to get around the immigration system, no. But consult an immigration attorney about adoption. You are local. Do you support Trump? I don't really support any political candidate or party. I don't really believe they add anything to what we do. So no, I don't support Trump and whoever would be there. It's not just Trump. I don't really support any of them. I support individual liberty, not beholden to political powers. Santoshi asks, U.S. international open to international airports? I think you're asking, is U.S. Open to international travelers? Yes, they are, but it depends. For some, yes. For some, no. Terry asks, I apply my green card asylum. How many months waiting approval of my green card? Check out USCIS.gov for case processing times, but it varies. Depends on the case and how long USCIS wants to take. Sahar asks, can my cousin apply for education visa from Afghanistan? Is there anything like that? It's not an education visa, it's an F1 student visa. So they can apply for a student visa, whether they get it or not, I don't know. First thing they want to do is to get accepted to a school that they want to go and work with them, maybe need an immigration attorney and apply for the visa and see if it's approved or not. It's up to the embassy officer that does the interview whether it'll be approved at the end. Yoni asks, can you get sponsorship through marriage? Yes, if you're married to a green card holder, U.S. citizen, and you have a clear record, and that's a long story, you can. What I would recommend is to download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook or guide. It's a free ebook that I wrote. It's at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Download that, take a look, and get some ideas and understanding of how that system works, and then schedule a consultation with an attorney when you know more information. Kai asks, how long will it take to get the green card for asylum? It varies depending on the case and the office that's approving it. User 12 asks, hi, I'm Pakistani, American citizen. In these days, should I apply for my brother and his family? Should you apply? It's up to you. You could always try it out, but I don't have an answer to that. It's up to you to make that decision. Amit asks, can you please mention process for conversion for EB3, EB2? Thank you. No, that's too technical detail. I don't want to get into that here. Mom asks, does the timeout of country for more than 1 year with reentry permit count towards continued residence? No, if you're outside for more than 1 year, it's going to destroy your continued residency for the purposes of naturalization / citizenship. So unfortunately, that although you got a reentry permit and they won't hold it against you, for most likely, very strong likelihood that won't hold against you. When it comes to seeing if you abandon your residency, I mean you stop being a green card holder, it does not help for citizenship. So unfortunately, your absence of more than 1 year resets the 5-year clock for applying for U.S. citizenship. So you got to wait all that way over again. Molmas overcoming presumption. No, the reentry permit doesn't help that. Sarah asks, is F1 student visa? Yes, the F1 is the student visa. Basi asks, can I travel on U.S. advanced parole to European countries? Well, it depends on factors. These travel bans that exist, some of them don't cover the advanced parole option. So I would need to review what travel bans would apply to you. So I'll be careful about flying and traveling on advanced parole right now. User 127 says, how long would it take if I apply for my brother and his family? 15, 20 years, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't get into questions about time. Sar says, can it be community college or it should be 4-year university? It has to be a school that takes part in the student visa, international student visa process. So it could even be a high school. It could be a language institution. It could be a college, a community college, a university. They're all, you just have to research to see if they participate in the system, international student system. Santoshi asks, U.S. Embassy starts spousal visa interview for Pakistan? For some, not for others. Kain asks, is it safe? Is that safe to travel with RTD, reentry with asylum, refugee child document with asylum status, but not yet getting the green card? Is it safe? You know, I'm not here to provide guarantees. If you need to travel, but do your research. It's whenever you leave the United States, there's risks involved with that, and so that's some risks that you have to take on. I can't take that away. Akiya says, how long does it take to your sibling to come here if you apply for them? It takes a long time. Momi asks, what does the 4-year 1-day rule mean? Well, I have videos. I have a couple of videos on this on YouTube, JK Law Firm. I don't think the 4-year 1-day rule really applies anymore. You have to think about the 4-year and 6-month rule. But essentially means if you're outside the United States for too long, it resets the clock. Gulichka asks, hi, sir. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Just a little tired. I have a lot of cases. And because the fee increase is coming with USCIS in a week or two, I'm getting slammed because there's a deadline to get these cases out. And people are just realizing that this filing fee increase is happening. So I'm getting more and more consultations. And it's at this point, I really can't accept new cases that can meet the deadline. But between that and having kids, I'm super tired. That's one of the reasons I'm stopping doing the live on Tuesdays and Thursdays too. Just because it's just been a lot of work. User 33 asks, how long does it take to get a DACA person to get his visa if married to a citizen? There's more requirements to just being married to a U.S. citizen. So we got to see what's going on with the case. So the timeline varies. Jimmy asks, thank you for doing this awesome job. I'm a fan from Dallas. Jimmy Khan, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, the kind words. It's very nice of you. If you had the time, please go to Google, type in JQK Law Firm, and leave a 5-star review on Google on the right side. I would really appreciate that. You don't have to, but you don't have to even write a sentence. Just put 5 stars. It really help out a lot. And I thank you for your kind words. Alicia says, I just have one question. So my husband is in Turkey, right? Okay. Mika asks, can asylum-based green card holder travel back to the country? There's risks involved. When you get your asylum status, you're saying that I'm afraid to go to my home country and I'm not using the protections of the home country. So if you end up traveling there and using that passport, it can always be used against you. Now, historically, they didn't really care, but now we have the Trump administration and things have changed. So I wouldn't recommend doing that, but that's a choice that you will take, but I don't recommend doing that. The Rock fan asks, bro, if I apply now for a work permit renewal for asylum, is it a good time because they expire in April? It's not a good or bad time. If you want to be, file it. I mean, it's not about being a good time. Alpha asks, I'm a green card holder. Can I apply for my husband who is on U.S. work visa? It is possible. Download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. You get some good answers there. It's at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Check out the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide and then send me an email, schedule consultation if you want to schedule time. There'll be a link in the ebook for scheduling. Jimmy Khan says, I promise we'll do from a heart. Wallahi. Oh, thank you so much, Jimmy. I really appreciate that. Akash says, for how long can you stay at another country if you got a green card? Akash, I have a lot of videos on this. You shouldn't be outside the United States for more than 6 months, and even less than 6 months with multiple trips outside could be a problem for citizenship. That's a short answer for that. But that's that, yeah. Poopa says, if you marry to U.S. citizen and apply for green card, how long will it take to get the work permits? I don't know. It varies. 6 months, maybe longer, maybe shorter. These time questions, it's user observer says, where are you from? I was born and raised in the United States. Release asks, can be approval for an LPR I-130 be approved within the 6-month time frame? There's no time frames for visa processing. It takes however long they want to take. Russia asks, good evening, sir. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you as well for the good work you're doing. I got my NOA 1. How long before I get NOA 2? NOA is notice of approval. I think immigration lawyers don't use NOA terms. That's just used on Visa Journey or whatever that website is. No one who practices law actually uses that. But with timelines, it varies so much that I don't like to talk about it. Nick says, I did my fingerprints in August, waiting for interview. It's taking forever. Yeah, that's the thing, because there's no timeline consistency. Richard says, hi, any idea how long it's taking to reschedule? No, I don't. And this is the number one reason I'm going to stop doing Q&As, because I just don't know how long these things are going to take. I just don't know. And about 50% of the questions are about timelines, and I don't like to just keep answering that. Have you ever left the United States past years? Saeed asks, on the USCIS website online form, on first questions asks, have you ever left the United States in the past 5 years? I went to Dubai for 10 days. Yes, if the question asks, have you ever traveled outside the U.S. and it's true, yes, then the answer is yes. That's that easy. So user 94 asks, I filed for my spouse. I'm a U.S. citizen. Why processing time different per processing center? Because immigration is inconsistent, and that's why I can't answer questions about timelines, because it's just everything is so inconsistent. Maddingus asks, can you do a video on how to read the visa bulletin? I did. Go to youtube.com and have 2 or 3 videos on that. Randolph asks, quick question, what is the price range for immigration lawyer, like 5 or 6? Can you tell me? I have cases that cost $1,000, and I have cases that cost $35,000 to $50,000. So it's not like that. It's not like you just pick an apple. There's oranges, there's apples, there's gold, there's different types of visa categories. There's people have different kinds of issues. So it's not like I could just tell you how much price something is without knowing your individual case. Go ahead, Said. Rakshma asks, I submitted my N400 810 20 months in 820. When should I expect the point? You shouldn't expect anything. They'll let you know when they're ready for it. Quitch asks, oh no, don't stop doing these videos, please. Well, I'll be here Wednesdays. I've cut it down. I used to do it Monday through Friday, but just going to do it on Wednesdays now. So just catch it live because, again, 70% of the questions are like, when is the embassy opening up? How long does it take? So it's just going to be the repeat. We can just do that on a Wednesday and be good. Sorry. Because I appreciate for your time for our community. You're welcome, Mikasha. Thank you so much for that, everybody who's saying all the nice stuff. Akash says, what does a priority date mean? Priority date is a date that you started your case. So if you filed an I-130, a family petition, that's the date that the I-130 was received by USCIS, or the I-140 employment base, or a filing of a labor certificate, LCA or something like that. I don't do EB or EB3 anymore, so I don't know all the details, but that's the date it is. And then, so that date you filed it is the place in line for the visa bulletin when you have a preference category case. But I have a YouTube video on this on JK Law Firm YouTube page that talks about it. Okay, we had a question here by Abbott Abdullah. I-130 travel permit renewal application has filing fee, even if we reapplied before expiry of my advanced parole. Travel permit renewal is a loaded term. There's different types. There's like multiple different types of travel permits. If you filed for advanced parole, based on having a green card case, you could there's no fee for reapplying, but if you want emergency, they may or may not charge a fee, even though they're not supposed to. With the fee increases that happened October 2nd, I don't think it applies if you had an existing case, but I'm not sure. So just file it as soon as possible to avoid the fee. Syed says, I got a ticket for running a stop sign, and one time I got a ticket for headlights were off, so I have been 2 times cited. There's a question on the form. Have you been arrested, cited, or jailed? Do I need to answer yes? Yes, the prudent thing, conservative thing is to answer yes. Explain the tickets because they're citations, and then hopefully have proof of, one, paying those tickets and taking care of, and or secondly, get your driving record from the various states that you drove in to show that you have a clean driving history, which means you paid your tickets, you don't have warrants and that kind of stuff. And so to be safe, that's what I do for citizenship cases. Sonia says, it's a pleasure watching your video. Stay blessed. Thank you, Sonia. God bless you, and thank you. A lot of your great community. I appreciate you all doing this. And that's that. Steve says, how much you charge for RFEs? RFE is a request for evidence. There's no fixed fee. Some RFEs might take 2 hours of work. I have RFEs that sometimes take 20 hours of work. So it's like, it depends on, I got to first of all have a consultation to see what the RFE says, and then how much time we have. Because sometimes people, RFE is when there's an issue with your case, USCIS wants more information and documents. Sometimes people come to me when there's 2 months time so we can work on it. And sometimes people come to me when there's only 3 days left. So I have to work day and night for it. So that's why a question about how much something like that charges, it's like asking how much is, foot surgery as opposed to brain surgery, something simple versus something very complicated. It's just not possible for me to answer a question like that without knowing the details. Ms. MB Pains asks, how long does it take a green card process to grant asylum? It takes a little bit of time. Akash says, does the priority date do something? Yes, it sets your place in time for the preference category. So it shows your place in time for a green card. Said asks, okay, so thank you so much. How do I get a driving history to upload on a USCIS website as proof? I don't upload anything to USCIS website. I only do it by mail, but there's probably an attachment way there, and you contact the local DMVs, the places where you get your driver's licenses. Gateway asks, can I immigrate if I visit my mother USA? She has a green card. I'm 30 years old. No, that doesn't work that way, but consult an immigration attorney in private for more help on that, but that's not going to work. MN asks, my I-485 was denied, then the reopening motion was denied too. What's that mean to my case now? It means your case was denied, and it's still denied, and so you're likely out of status if you don't have any underlying status. You shouldn't be asking me this. You should have had a lawyer helping you with the first case, but definitely the motion reopen, because it could lead to deportation proceedings right now, removal, or maybe even deportation if you have priority removal or you're an ESTA person. So it's a really bad situation to be in. That's the short of it. You need to consult with an immigration attorney as soon as possible. Go call somebody and schedule a time immediately. Push asks, if your USA spouse has a felony, how will it affect the case which took place 14 years ago? Well, it depends on what the U.S. citizen's felony is. And then also having documentation of it, because even though most types of felonies won't be an issue for USCIS, for processing the case, sometimes they hassle you about it. So you want to talk with a lawyer, see what it is, have the documentation of it prepared. Slytherin asks, why did they postpone cancellation removal 5 more years? Why they postpone a cancellation removal 5 more years? I don't know. They haven't postponed anything yet. There's been a notice to change some stuff with regards to cancellation removal. I'm not sure if it's postponing for 5 years, but I don't know the details about that. User 94 asks, the receipt says my case is at Nebraska, but when I called USA, it says Vermont Service Center. Yeah, they moved it. This is why when people ask me how long things are taking, I don't know, because USCIS will change stuff without telling us. Comrade asks, hi, how are you doing? I'm good. My cases keep getting updated at NBC. It was updated on September 17th today. Okay, there's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing that comes with it. Gulchin Cat asks a personal question. If it's personal about me, no. But if it's personal about you, ask, and we'll see what happens. Sai says, thank you, John. It's been a good help. God bless you and your family. Thank you, Sai. God bless you as well. Thank you. Akash says, if the priority date is October, does that mean that should get the green card before next October? Not necessarily. It just means that they could start issuing the green card. It could take longer. Sim says, how long it takes the embassy to reject? It varies. All the timeline questions are, it varies. My work permit is about to expire. How long does it take after applying for work permit? If your work permit is based on a green card pending, by filing for an extension, a timely filing for an extension, you get an automatic 5 or 6 month extension. But how long it'll take to actually get the work permit? It varies. I said, how long before I get approval notice? It varies. So again, these questions about timelines, they vary a lot. So I can't answer those kind of questions. Ali says, how do I know if someone filed against me in the U.S.? There's no filing against you. So I'm not sure what that means. If you mean someone complained about you or told them or like, said something about like you're doing something wrong, there's no way to know. It is what it is. Oh, Abdul Rahman, thank you so much for the roses. Very kind of you. Thank you so much for watching. Let's check in on YouTube. Any questions here? So yeah, generally, there's no way to know if someone complained. Hopefully they was not taken seriously. They didn't have to do an additional investigation. But hopefully you're not in circumstances where something like that's popping up because it's problematic. You don't want that to happen. Let's see. M. Payne asks, thank you, sir. I have one more question. How long it takes for NBC for consular processing, please? It varies. There's no exact answer. Later Brown says, 13 watching and only 3 likes. You all need to like the video. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But we have a good group on TikTok watching as well. It's the biggest group there. But it's nice to have people on YouTube as well and just hear about this stuff. So what's going to happen is the live is being recorded. Then we're going to put it on, edit it a little bit, and then put it on YouTube for recording. You can follow up there too. I have a bunch of clips on YouTube which you can catch. Afi asks, my spouse has to leave the U.S. and go home for work visa stamping. Maybe it depends on what their case is. Akash says, if all of your documents are approved by NBC, can they still be rejected? Yes, that happens frequently. Arsha says, do they terminate asylum case if I-130 is approved? No, they don't terminate it if I-130 is approved, no. May ask, what are the most frequent questions on a marriage-based green card when on interview? I mean, they just ask the details. I mean, there's different kinds of questions they ask. One is about the foreign applicant. There's questions about, they don't ask about finances too much, but then there's asked about the relationship. And then, the history of the relationship, how you met, and just going through the history of it. If you download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, the free ebook at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com, at the last 4 pages are like some frequently asked questions. It's a lot of questions, but if you want to go over them and practice them, they're at the end in the addendum section or appendix section or something like that of the guide, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, the free ebook at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Zoe, I want to file a 751 waiver. Okay. Okay, says, what marriage photo does the embassy accept? A picture just bride and groom, family too. The embassy doesn't really get into photos. You should have submitted that with the I-130, but just some good photos. I have to see them to tell you if it's good or not. Sim asks, just want to make sure, did USIS increase time limit for RFEs? Yeah, they extended it by 60 days up until January 1st. So you got a little more time there to provide a response. Does I-130 approval expire? It can. If you have for consular processing, for example, and you don't contact the NBC for a year or two, they could destroy the case. Zos asks, do I file with the court or USCIS? Need to terminate first? I don't know, Zos. I got to see what's going on in your case. Green Shades asks, do I need 1 year if? And then you don't finish your question. Arsha says, do they decide adjustment case if you're married with pending asylum? No, that's a complicated situation. Different offices do it differently. You want to hopefully get the I-130 adjustment done and then notify the asylum office. Some officers force you to cancel your asylum case first, but I would challenge that. So that's when it gets complicated. If you have 2 cases pending, you really should have an immigration lawyer if you're dealing with that situation. Abdullah asks, I have a pending I-485 adjustment case. I got a combo card valid till November 11th. I applied for renewal. When can get the I-797 receipt, which will give me just whenever they approve the case for processing and send you a receipt. So however long that takes, a couple weeks, months, I don't know. Okay, says, how long does the visa interview last originally? It depends. It could be 20 minutes, it could be an hour. They could take you to a room and talk to you for hours. It might be a line to get in. It just varies. Lady Brown asks, how long does it take to get a work permit after filing paperwork? 6 months, maybe less, maybe more, maybe 2 months, maybe a year. It just varies a lot. Green Shades asks, do I need 1 year of tax paper for K1 visa after support? You really need 3 years, but at least 1 year. You need to be currently working. It's not even that you have tax paperwork. You need to be currently working. That's a little more detail. I got to see what's going on that you asked that question. And I asked, my boyfriend got caught by immigration his first time coming over. Will that affect him getting paper? Yes. If he got caught and left and he comes back again, he has what's called a permanent ban. You're welcome, Lady Brown. So your boyfriend, you really need to talk with immigration to see how you could overcome this, potentially get a waiver after 10 years or something like that if he did re-enter after being caught once. So that's a very serious situation that you'd be dealing with. Lucy asks, God bless you. Thank you. God bless you as well. I just sent in the pardon. Will we have a marriage interview later on? I don't know. I don't know what a pardon is. You mean a waiver? It depends on what you're doing, what kind of case you're dealing with. Akshan follows up. I heard there is a new law that was just passed for immigrants that are coming here. There's no new laws. They're changing a lot of different things in the immigration system. What people will be affected? That question is just, I can't answer that question. It's just too much. And the immigration system completely is being turned upside down in a million different ways. So it's kind of like, how would it be to be able to answer that question? It's too complicated. It's like saying, how does the human body work? And it's like, well, there's a million different systems that are intertwined. It's not something I can answer here. We could have I teach a course on something like that. That's that complicated. Chandra asks, hello, what are the I-864 related documents to take to a marriage-based interview? At that point, when you go to the interview you don't ask about them, but you want to bring, updated pay stubs to show that the income and the work is still happening. If there's major changes in the work or the income, you need to bring documentation or information about that. But I usually say, bring some updated pay stubs to show you're still making the money the sponsor is. But generally, they don't ask about it at the interview. If you're doing adjustment of status, if you're doing consular processing, you may want to bring those for sure to show that there's continued income coming in. So that might be needed. Lucia asks, yes, the waiver. My husband got approved for I-130 is from Mexico, marriage interview. But are you filing adjustment of status or not? Architect, can I downgrade? It may be possible, but consult an immigration attorney. Imran asks, I applied for my marriage-based green card in March. When to expect interview? Whenever they feel like getting to you. Akiar says, does the embassy ask for DNA sample of your child to show that child is you and your spouse's? It can if it doesn't believe that the relationship is real. If you have a birth certificate, probably not, but President Trump wants to make it ask more. Lucia says, no, it doesn't have status. So, okay, file the waiver, gets approved. Eventually, your husband will have to go back to Mexico and do an interview. It's going to take a long time because getting an appointment at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico could take over a year at this point. So it's just, it's going to be a while. Brittany asks, if someone comes to the U.S. illegally and gets married, do they have to return to their home country? Yes, most of the time they do, unless they have some sort of exception that's rare. So we got time for one more question, and one more question we'll take. Let's see. Leah asks, Li Xiaoxu, I hope I pronounced that right. Hello, my EAD clock was stopped today. Shows next step is interview. Today's 164 days. What is the problem? Thank you. What do you mean the clock has stopped? Are you an asylum case or a court case? Lou says, thank you so much for everything. You're welcome. Lucre, I appreciate that. Ali says, I'm a U.S. citizen. However, the time M400 submission, I didn't mention about my kids who are in. That's a major issue right there. I'm a citizen. My mom also says my sisters want to come visit the USA. Rejected many times. What should I do now? Ali, you really messed up by not including your kids. Did you include it in the green card application? That's where it's a bigger mess up. For citizenship, not as big. But I don't know. I have to review your whole case. So for asylum case, I don't handle asylum, so I'm not sure exactly. But essentially, if the asylum clock stops, then you can't file the EAD. But you got to see why the clock is stopped and consult with an attorney. I don't handle asylum cases or court cases, so I'm not a good resource for that. Mickey asks, hi, watching from Philippines. Oh, thank you, Mickey. I appreciate that. It was good seeing you. All right, I guess that's it. Thank you everyone for joining. MP says thanks. You're welcome. God bless everybody. So this was the last Thursday that we're doing, just Wednesdays. See you all next week right here. Check out the JQK Law Firm, pages on YouTube, on Instagram, and the TikTok page, Immigration Lawyer John. If you are interested in a marriage, green card case, or fiance, check out the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. You can find some great information there before scheduling a time to speak with an attorney. All right, everyone. God bless. Be safe. Bye-bye.